You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing will meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing will meet your football needs. Your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. Sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. Your eyes go see. Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy.
All right, my people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of God. It's not Sunday, but we are still children of God. Welcome to another episode of the Footy Fantasy Podcast. We actually just finished another live segment with the Liverpool fans previewing their season, and now it's Chelsea fans' turn to preview their season for the 26-27 Premier League season. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I have a house of Chelsea fans here. So my own job is just to listen and mind my business. I just move the conversation along. Please do not throw stray bullets. I'm not here for stray bullets. Just talk your talk and move on. This has nothing to do with Manchester United. This has nothing to do with my, my Balenciaga coach that just beat me earlier today. Anyway, we have Benny the hopeful. I've never seen you hopeful though. You good?
It's a new thing. I'm trying it out.
Oh, okay. How's that going though? How's that going?
We'll see after this season. We'll see. I can't help but be hopeful.
Well, always good to have you, bro. Welcome. Idris, have fun.
Always good. Blessings.
Always good to have you. Here. And Dada, modern day Idi Amin. We don't say. We salute you. Welcome. Just quick housekeeping, guys. We're on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. On Twitter, it's at Footy AD Fantasy. On IG, it's Fantasy Footy. And if you like that theme music that played at the intro, our boy Soji made it, and his handle is SJ Music. Without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Let us get into it. Season is about to start. I think the Community Shield is tomorrow. And the season starts, I believe, next weekend. Chelsea. The deadline for Enzo's transfer, I think Chelsea came out and said deadline was like this past Friday at 5 p.m., I guess UK time. The deadline came and passed. No bids, no nothing. Are y'all cool with selling Enzo? I'm gonna start with Benny. Are you cool with selling Enzo? And if so, how much?
That's such a pigeonhole me with that question, but that's the answer anyway.
No, you can answer. You can be a politician and avoid the question entirely.
I'll answer. It's like Enzo is a luxury buy for anybody right now. Now he's a great, in my opinion, he's a great number 8. He's a good number 8, very good number 8 that requires a lot of hard workers around him. And he pops in, arrives late in the box, scores some goals. Let me put it this way. I will miss Enzo, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So, it can go. That's fine. 120 million. I mean, how many years? He was one of the first players we got, right?
Yeah, he was one of the third volley signings, the early ones.
Like 3 years in now. So that 105 that we got him for, I don't know how long. I think it's 8 years. He got an 8-year contract. So
he has 6 years left on his contract, I think.
6 years. Jesus. He has 6 years left on his contract. So, they've gotten at least get a good profit on him for whatever balancing books. But granted, now if Enzo wanted to leave, he should have tried to force a move before the World Cup. And I went to the World Cup, performed well, or higher than people expected, or whatever. Which I always thought he played well. He plays well for Argentina, but he played really well this World Cup. And he had a bad red card at the final, but nonetheless he played well, and that's forcing Chelsea to ask for a higher price. He can go, he can stay. I honestly don't care at this point. But I can
Okay.
say that about a lot of players at Chelsea right now, which is not a good thing. So
Hmm.
he can go, he can stay. I really don't care.
Interesting. You're not worried about a replacement, Idris? Like, do you?
I don't care for the guy. I don't.
Oh, okay.
He's not better than the greatest of that role. He's Ramirez light at best. I'm being serious. Like we've had him for 3 years. We spent 100 and something million, and we're always talking about this idiot. What next? He's Benny. I looked at stats. Like if I could share my screen, I'll share to you. And how was it described when I looked at? Bear with me here, a quick second. When I looked at what actually makes him stand out in the last 2 or 3 seasons with the likes of that played in midfield, and please put in mind that these midfielders have like different characteristics. Like right, they're not like exactly the same, but they're all in the midfield. And Benny said it very rightly. Like is right now he would be a luxury buy to any team, and he requires a lot of very solid hard workers around him. So if everybody's carrying the weight and then you not be the cherry on the cake, yeah, it's nice. So you are scoring goals. He's a talented player. Don't get me wrong, but he's described here more or less as with the other people comparing to Rodri, Bruno. And Bruno is not really necessarily the same, but can play that plays Jude, Fabian Ruiz, Declan Rice, and then Enzo. Rodri is the controller. Bruno is the creative. Jude is considered a goal machine. Declan Rice is the enforcer. Fabian is a technician. Enzo is a prospect. It's fucking 4 years now. He's still a prospect. I'm 100 mil. Please, man, I beg. That's my summary. I just think we're the ones that spent 100 mil. If we got this boy for 60 mil and say we're selling him for 100 mil or 80 mil, good job, Chelsea. Right?
Yeah.
But where I'm at right now, I really don't have the patience for whatever is going on. I don't want to be not players that other teams are buying. I really don't care for it. If he's not happy here, he can bounce. I just can't sit down here and have my club constantly try to convince people to stay. That's my take.
I'm getting a sense that you guys are I guess frustrated because this man has been talking for Madrid. I think at some point he said something about Barcelona as well. The whole World Cup, antics thingy, and with Argentina, and all that stuff. I wonder if all that is bleeding into your opinion, Idris, and your opinion, Benny. And I mean, it sounds like you guys just.
I just don't think it's just, in my opinion, Benny. You can, and I know that I can chime in. I don't think it's just Enzo that just makes us feel like, man, whatever. At this juncture, if Enzo gives us the feelings, no matter how toxic he is, Diego Costa was toxic, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But we have Costa.
You guys love toxic energy too.
Toxic energy, but you deliver. You understand? Like you deliver after you're toxic. This is an environment where you get to express yourself. Everybody knows Chelsea is like that. But you deliver. At this juncture, he's a decent player. And I just mentioned all these other guys. Maybe Declan Rice might be commanding 100 million. And Jude Bellingham, who is younger than Bruno Fernandes. But I said Bruno than Enzo Fernandez. But aside that, it's an inflationary market. I don't really see much to the guy. I won't miss him per se.
Dada, what are you telling me?
Honestly, man, I agree with Benny and Idris equally. I don't know why Benny's in shock, but honestly, what they said makes sense. Like, I think every year there's always some drama with Enzo, starting at like the last World Cup, with all racism incidents. Every season, there just seems to be something about him off the field that we need to ratify or deal with. And to Idris's point, I think, just like most people, right? Like every player, or not every player, you have players who are going to have baggage that's off the field, but they tend to marry that or compensate that with their on-field performance to where you almost forget how treacherous they are off the field. So I think like Enzo is one of those players that his contribution to the team isn't worth the hassle. And then, every year or every season, there's always something about Enzo to the point where you just just sell him. And I remember, I think when he had his hernia surgery, either last season or the season before, there was a stretch of games where Enzo didn't play. And coincidentally, Chelsea actually performed better. Like, we're actually a better team without him. Now, granted, like, there's always other, like, exogenous factors. Like, you have to put context around it. But Now, having said that too, last season it was also one of our most consistent players, but it wasn't that it was consistently good. It was just average, but then the team wasn't great either. So I mean, I say all this to say if there are top 5 players that we absolutely need to keep at Chelsea, Enzo will be number 5 on a regular day, and maybe number 3 or 4 on his best day. And then if you can get 120 million for him, you should totally do that. So I think honestly, like I won't lose sleep over Enzo, to be frank with you. I'll lose sleep over Casado. I'll lose sleep over James, Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Cole Will, those Esteval. So those 6 players I would lose sleep over. But Enzo just doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah. So wait, let's say he leaves tomorrow. Who's your 8?
So many options, man.
You've given me Andre Santos now.
No, we sold Andre Santos too.
Yeah, you've given me Andre Santos. You have who? That is a Sugo kid. Who else?
That's the direct, so should I say, understudy that all of us talked about, and the characteristics that we have in mind.
To answer his question quickly, sorry to interject. When he was out for hernia surgery, who played in his role?
Reese was. You remember Reese was.
Reese. Oh yeah.
And now Reese was Paco, right?
Yeah. We have
okay.
You don't understand. Sorry, internally, there's a contingent plan. Like if Enzo was to leave, we would make another transfer. I think we'll get that kid from Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Scott. So yeah, but even without getting Scott, I think we'll walk around him. I just don't. But also, sorry, keep in mind too that a lot of Enzo's contributions last season was those late runs he was making in the box.
I was going to say that.
But now quite a few clutch goals that can do that. Like we have Rodgers who can carry the ball. I mean, yeah, we have players who can kind of fill into that position or filling.
Even Palestra right now, that just seems like a weird Alonso reincarnate.
And Palestra was a right back.
Yeah, he is, but he's been used in different ways in this preseason. But you see, that's the thing. Everybody is telling you they're like, yeah, we can find, and that's the problem with the price tag and the performance that we were expecting, and then all the shenanigans that comes with it, right? And what I think irks us most again, and then he correct me. He's supposedly the vice captain.
The vice captain, yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Could you behave like this when Lampard, Drogba, Terry, Checker? You know what I mean? Our glory days. Let's even go to the next sets after those guys were like fading out, and we even had the likes of Hazard, Willian, Oscar, and Cole. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, this was not the norm. Like, so it's so like we're so fixated on Enzo Fernandez's initial signing cost. Like, if we just remove the 120 million just off the bat, like, yo, is this guy really what we really need or something? I don't think many people would be. If we bought that guy for 20 million or 40 million, I swear to God, Chelsea sell him for like 60, 80. I don't think Chelsea themselves value this guy 100. I think they're just trying to recoup. As Dada would say, PE boys don't like to lose money. I just think they're just like, let me see how I can finesse money out of this asset so that it doesn't look like I lose. I don't even think they believe these guys want 20 million after 3 years.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, which is sort of a broader conversation around Alonso. Of course, you've gotten him. He's come in. It looks like he's going to be playing with a 3/5 at the back. He's had a few departures. What's that left back of you guys? Is that left to Real Madrid? Cucurella left. Besides Cucurella, I don't think I don't remember any more major departures. I mean, Chaluba, I guess. But like,
that's not major.
Yeah, he has Morgan Rogers. He has he has Esteval. He has Cole Palmer. You guys' attack is actually quite stacked. I think it's your defense that's still a little bit shaky, and we're going to talk about that later. But given everything, you guys are playing no Champions League football. You have one game a week. You're essentially the Manchester United of last season. Like, is this? I've heard Chelsea fans say that. Now this time we win league. Like, is this one of those? Is this like? Are you guys using one corner eye, to look at that Premier League trophy so you can show armpits? Or is that too much? And if it's too much, what's the bare minimum you're going to accept from this guy? Because I know Chelsea, I know the look face, una go fire manager quick, enter, come out if you don't perform, right? And I don't see you guys not doing that with Alonso if he doesn't perform. So what's the floor? I want to start with you, Dada. What do you think the floor should be for this Alonso guy? Knowing the kind of impatience that exists within the Chelsea hierarchy.
So a couple things though is I think we've assembled a decent team on paper, and Idris does a good job of sort of curbing our enthusiasm once in a while because typical fans are now we have the team, we're going to the moon, and he's always trying to remind us, hey, give it 5 to 10 games, right? So I think on paper we have assembled a good team and we have a good coach. But I will say one thing that the Chelsea hierarchy did very well this season is they addressed the issues. Like if you go through Chelsea and you do a diagnosis and you say, you know what, here are the issues of this club. They just went through in order and addressed everything. So they have actually addressed everything, except maybe the goalkeeping situation. I think that's TBD. But in terms of priorities, they've actually addressed everything. If you look at the signing of Rodgers, what that meant, and not only, I was telling guys on the forum that oftentimes when you sign players, you sign them for the immediate performance, but you also sign them for the message that you're sending, right? Mm-hmm. So the Rodgers signing was meant to do two things. One, complete the team from an attacking perspective, provide cover for Palmer, and then also we had weaknesses in the wings that needed addressing. So that addressed it. But off the field, the signing of Rodgers was to signal to existing players that, hey, we are serious. Last season, one of the issues, rightly so, that Enzo and Cucurella brought up is they didn't see a vision from the hierarchy. They didn't see that the club were making signings that outsiders could take us serious. And players feed off of that, right? If you go work for a company and they're constantly hiring underperformers, you quickly say, well, are you guys a serious company, right? But if you step into work one day and they're hiring top people, it also motivates you to step up. So having said that, I think they've made the right moves. Long-winded way of saying, I think it will be a good season. But the issue is the comment that you just made about attacking. People said that last season. Oh, yeah, Chelsea has a solid attack. So I'm always the optimistic guy, right? But I think I would want to wait 5 games or 6 games to be able to say anything definitively. Having said that, the floor is top 4. We have to make top 4.
Okay. All right, Benny. Be hopeful. The hopeful skeptic. Yeah.
There you go. I think top 4 is top 4 at the absolute floor, top 4, definitely. And we have to wait till the end of the season, type top 4. It's like a battle every close to the end of the season. We're like, are we going to make it to start doing further matches? No, top 4, some sitting comfortably in 3rd or something like that. That should be, in my opinion, that should be the floor, really, the acceptable floor. Anything outside of that is just, I feel like he has underachieved. And I mean, there's a lot of high expectations from a lot of people based on what he did in Leverkusen. Obviously, is a German tax, a Bundesliga tax, or whatever. But the hope is that maybe he can use the top 2 positions to pay it off and then just sit in at number 3 there. And if he does well in any of the domestic cups, it'll just be added to cherry on top. So that's my opinion.
Do you guys know what? Because I've not been watching your preseason games, but I've watched a few highlights, and it looks like he's playing the 3-4-3 sort of formation. Is that what you guys expect going forward this season? Idris, I'm gonna go to you. Is that like, or is he one of those where it's like uncertain? He might wake up and do a 4 at the back, and what is his vibe?
From what I've seen so far, he's played the 3-4-3, and he's played a 4-3-3, and he's also played a very interesting formation where he's got Neto playing wing back and stuff like that. But one thing he did say in his interview, and if you follow Alonso from his playing days, the coaches he's played with, the kind of football he's played. He played under Pep in Bayern. He played under Mourinho in Madrid, and he's played with. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Did he play with He played with Benitez, right? In Liverpool. I don't think he played
Yeah.
with. Did he? I don't think he played with what's his name? Klopp.
No, they played.
No,
I think he
he
played with
didn't play.
Ancelotti though. Might have
He
played with
played
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti. He played
He played
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti in
And
Madrid.
yeah.
Madrid.
Yeah.
So he seems like a very flexible tactical guy, and it seems like somebody that like has some form of resilience. My only issue is most of the teams always concede goals. I know we're going to talk about like signings and coming back, but for me, I think he's flexible. The key thing is his ability to be flexible. He's a winning coach, and he's a guy that, from many managers, of says emotionally intelligent to rally the guys and the troop together. So for me, fourth. I don't think I'll be more focused on his formation. I'll be far more focused on how he can read games and adapt. Because in Chelsea, we've kind of had like jihadist coaches that just they say they come with one ideology and say, okay, fine, we heard you, but then you see something not working and it just looks like somebody knocking their head on the wall. You're like, when are you gonna change? And it's like this guy's earning 5 million a week. Like, what's going on? Like, or what's it called, a month? So, as that said, seems like a flexible kind of guy. What he's done this preseason. Also, let's see. And for me, I think there's something you guys said. Like, I mean, we all like top four kind of thing. And as Benny said, I don't want that last minute. I just made it kind of top four. Absolute convincing. It's kind of like we are not going to win the league, but second third. And if you fall to top four, comfortably top four. You know what I mean? Something to be able to build on for next year. But I'm also very wary because it's his first season. First season. And every new coach, Dadan Benny, what do I always say in the group chat? I would say sixth. Everybody's going to be like, you just know, I deliberately say sixth. So that even if they miss out of top four, one can look back and be like, it wasn't all shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we can see maybe there's this tweak we need here, there's this addition we need here. Give the coach some bit of like leeway. But just because we're just in a very somehow kind of vibe, top four minimum.
Okay. All right. The next question is about signings, and I promise I wasn't even trying to be funny when I drafted this question about Welbeck possibly being you guys' best signing. I know it sounds crazy. It's not rage bait, but I watched all of you guys lose your shit last season with Liam Delap. I watched you guys complain that every time João Pedro has to come off, every time he's injured, like there is absolutely nothing. They just put bricklayer in front in Liam Delap, and he says everything just goes to die with him. I want to say that if you guys had Danny Welbeck last season, you guys wouldn't have complained as much. So that being said, of course, I know Morgan Rogers, quality signing, big money, but Welbeck, I think, is definitely not Henderson. I don't think Henderson, that's just an uncle they brought to supervise the children in the training camp. But I think Danny Welbeck can do something for you guys. What do you guys think? Benny, you're laughing. Talk to me. Because it costs 5 million. I don't know how much you guys paid for him.
Danny Welbeck. Honestly, come on, man. 35-year-old guy that will pop in here and there to 35, 36, I don't know.
He's 35.
Yeah.
But he scores goals, Benny. He scores goals. He scores more goals than your Liam Delap. Last season, Delap was being cursed by all of you guys. Nico Jackson was at Bayern Munich doing his thing at Bayern Munich. I don't even know if he's going to remain at Chelsea through the transfer window. So I think this is a credible question.
Delap deserves all the flack he got, and rightly so. That boy is a Sunday League player, just a fancy Sunday League player. Well, you say player in this case, probably the best signing in this window. I will have to disagree with that. When you say best signing, I would have to disagree. I see what you're trying to say in terms of like the position itself and his effectiveness in that position. Welbeck, that is. I don't know if Jackson's still leaving. He said he wants to try, but he says he's going to leave. I don't know. I don't think Welbeck is going to offer so much more in that attack. I don't think so. I would say Rogers. Rogers is probably the best signing right now, in my opinion, because that's a statement signing. I don't know if it was like this big thing that we needed, but the fact that they signed him, I was for the first time aghast with them, like, oh, they actually got Morgan Rogers.
And they
again,
hijacked him too. That
I
was
hijacked him too. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a statement for the other players like, hey, we're serious about this, so you guys don't try to like leave right away. Like, so I'm curious to see how Alonso plays them. Like a 3-4-3, I think is probably going to go with that because that's how we won the league in Leverkusen. Watching what's working now, unless it doesn't work, it apparently fails here. So I'm curious to see that front three being Rogers, Palmer, and Pedro. I don't know how it's gonna.
You know, sometimes he also plays 2 10s.
Yeah, that's the front three. The front three is not going to be a flat free three, right? It's going to be Jalpurgi at the top, like a triangle there, and the base of two of Rogers and Palmer. I'm curious to see how that works out. So,
and he can even play Pedro as a 10 and Welbeck right in front of him.
Yeah, I guess.
Games, yeah. Like if you have Neto and James put.
Welbeck at that age is going to be an impact server, unfortunately.
Yes.
He didn't start like at Brighton now.
He really said Brighton, but if you think about kind of going to the point of Chelsea addressing all their needs, if you think about last season, games that were like 1-1 or when we're chasing games and it was like last 15 minutes and like players were putting in like sweet crosses and there was no one to attack it. Like those, those kind of like, hey boys, just get the ball up, lads.
Yeah.
Like we needed a player like Welbeck, you know what I'm saying? But like,
what he's done to us.
You know what I mean? So I think that's something that I felt like they deliberately addressed. And then also too, lastly, we think of certain games where like we're up 2-1 and just needed like an Agba striker just to come into like pull the ball up. There's, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of like give defenders something to worry about. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
Like, and those things are like so crucial.
So important.
To a game where, the last 5 minutes, and you know how the EPL is, man. I think everybody wakes up and asks themselves, how can I make the opponent have a horrible day? Yeah. And like, that's just how the EPL is structured. It's like, there's no respect. There's no
respect. They know the respect others now.
Other people, like, they're like, you know what? You're having a good day today. How can I ruin it, buddy? And then, you're up 2-0 thinking, hey, you know what? It's done. And that's when, a player from Bournemouth just say, you know what, like I want to earn my bonus this game. Let's go. And the next thing you know, it's 2-2. So like game management was something that Chelsea struggled with severely last season, right? Ability to like close out games, just staying focused for like the last like 10 minutes. And I think that was an issue that we had. I think like Welbeck can address it, but is it our best signing? No. Is this someone that we needed? Definitely yes. And also too, it's 5 million, and it was top 10 goal scorer last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, best is stretching it, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
I think it's a signing that's overlooked. Idris, what are you saying?
As much as I read that question, I felt like it was rage bait. But that is right. I mean, I've always clamored for some experience in our team. Though I would say I do understand more now from the finances of business trying to like make money on what our owners were trying to do, which is kind of cool. But I just had I had a stereotype born out of bias that I can accept about when you're so profit driven. The sports product usually suffers. There's rarely, except the owner is like an Abramovich or a fan of the sport. You know what I mean? It's if you're so focused on the financial part of things, which is not a bad thing. It's just that the product usually never. I don't know the history. Maybe the closest I can see to that's been a success story like that is Florentino Perez, and I don't know how he's doing it. Right, where somebody are making money and spending all this money and they're still profitable. I don't know how he's doing it. But to the signings that I mentioned about addressing, in as much as I called it a troll, this Daniel Welbeck thing might actually be the best signing. And if I may make a point about it, João Pedro shocked me last year on the amount of goals he scored without penalty. I did not expect that performance. He was reminiscent of Palmer his first 2 seasons. Now I'm always very wary, Sorry, safe. Okay, we'll come to this comment. Sorry.
We'll come to that later. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm always very wary when players around the age of 21 to 24, 25 have this burst of performance in the season. I always think at some point there'll be a regression to him. Now, am I hoping that João Pedro comes down to a 15-goal striker? I pray not. I hope he keeps 20 goals. Somebody was predicting that he would probably do 20 or 20 golden boots this year. I really hope so. But there are glimpses of things his ability shows that we've lacked in a while. Welbeck coming to support and kind of mentor that kind of striker right now is almost like Giroud coming in previous Chelsea life, if it makes sense. At one point, Giroud was our go-to guy, and it altered the way we play. We were not afraid to lob balls in. We're not afraid to find the guy at the corner of the post, maybe where we'll be knocked back out for somebody to bomb it. We might even pay Enzo Fernandez, the guy that just shit up, if there's always the ball coming down. And there's somebody we didn't mention that's kind of like a new signing that, though he will miss goals, but he's also a 10 to 15 goal striker. It's Jackson. Now,
but we don't know if he's going to stay. You don't even know if he's going to stay.
That's the problem now. So I'm hoping, I know in this toxic world of our club, I'm actually hoping he kind of stays.
But when will Jackson play though? I'm still confused.
I know, but no, he can
play time.
Actually, that 210s you mentioned with Benny, that's actually his role.
It's not an out-and-out striker. I agree.
He was never. So the mistake we made was buying him and thinking he was going to be the 9. He never was built to be that. The way he plays, he caused so much disruptions and beautiful through passes that Palmer thrived. I think João Pedro would thrive from, and I think it will reduce the pressure on the likes of Rodgers to have to perform. Rodgers is still young, and you remember I was saying in the group chat, anything below the age of 25, I don't want to see him. There's a reason why when they were talking about the signing, I don't want to see him because I cannot really grade.
How old is Rodgers?
23 or something, 24? 24?
Same as Palmer, no?
Palmer, right? Is Palmer 25 yet?
No, Palmer shouldn't be 25 yet.
Yeah, so then
it's 24.
24, yeah. So, like, but Palmer
it feels like Rodgers is older. I don't know how to explain it.
Really?
Bellingham. Okay, like Jude Bellingham is only 26.
Is Jude Bellingham 26?
I thought it was younger than that.
I think he's younger than that, man.
Okay, see?
Jude Bellingham is like 22, bro.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham is 23. He just turned 23.
Dang.
Yeah. Jude Bellingham is
so mature.
No. Yeah.
Jude Bellingham is the reason I'm shitting on Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, Mogorati is 24.
Let me blow your mind. Tupac was 25 when he got shot.
Look.
Yeah.
That's
you we're making platinum albums left and right. We are here doing accounting, debit and credits. Oh,
no, but honestly, I think Welbeck is a decent. I think in terms of signing, there's some very key things that we can probably talk about defense. But I think our offense to keep the guys together is what I was more interested in because of chemistry. Yeah. I know you guys we banter and we throw when everybody was like, oh, do you miss Noni? It was not because I rated Noni as a top anything. You get where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. But we've invested so much that we brought him from a mediocre player to a solid squad player. And then we were losing him to bring in Garnacho and Co. So it almost felt like every time there's a regression. Like, do you understand? So that's how I feel this year with our signing. They addressed a bunch of positions, but we did not lose. I think Cucurella is the only one that I feel like we will lose, and I feel it's a big loss. I'm not gonna lie, but we have not lost so many players. Then we've added Jackson back.
Yeah, and
some form of consistency.
Speaking of which, when you were talking about João Pedro and how well he did last season, I just remember that Ancelotti is such a criminal. Like, you saw João Pedro score all these goals in the Premier League. And then in your brain, you said, I'm going to bring in Igor Thiago. Right. He took Igor Thiago to the World Cup. And that man was eating pounded yam on the field. And then, even after that, I mean, look, I like Cunha. I'm a United fan. I don't think Cunha played that role as well as João Pedro would have done. Like, to this day, there has to be an inquest on why João Pedro was left at home. Like that's that. I mean, we talk about how the England squad, Thomas Tuchel left out some blah blah blah. That's decision by Carlo Ancelotti, bruh. I would never get it. That's a sackable offense for me.
It was also his breakout season, João Pedro's breakout season. Which I mean, if you compare him to
the more reason he should have been there.
The more reason he should have been there. The more reason he should have been there.
Breakout season, yeah, like you're already on form. Anyway, no. To your point, I don't think anyone will ever understand why he did that. I don't even think he knew.
No, so they must have the federation must have like sent some boys to his house to threaten him. You either take João Pedro, you take Neymar, one of the two. And he was like, "Hey, I want to be alive. Let me take Neymar," before they sent people to my house.
The Neymar situation, even the president of Brazil was trolling Neymar. He's the first soccer player to work remotely. And that's
to what?
To work remotely.
Hey.
That's crazy. Talk about work from home footballer. Work from home footballer. That's crazy. That's crazy.
From the
okay.
Of Brazil.
Let's talk about your defense. Let's talk about you guys' defense because this one is one, and when I say defense, I mean the entire defensive department, including your goalkeepers. Bro, I'm looking at your defense, and Levi Colwill is injury prone. He's almost like my version of
injury prone. He's not injury prone.
He's not? Okay, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I've not seen much of him.
He had a long-term injury last season during the preseason.
Okay, Wesley Fofana. I don't know.
Yes.
You have Chalobah left to Como. Tosin, you guys don't like him. I wouldn't want him in my defense either. You have Hato, who is more of, I don't know if he's a left back or a left center back. Like, if anything, you guys need more defenders now that you're playing in this Alonso system than you did last season, right? And I'm looking at Chelsea ship Chalobah off to Como, but Tosin is still there wearing suit and tie on the field, doing consultant business.
Hey, no Tosin
slander. No Tosin slander. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Dada. Then, like, what's up with your defense? I'm not one to talk, but bruh, talk to me about your defense, because I fail to see how you guys succeed.
Conveniently, you forget we signed Lacroix from Crystal Palace.
Facts, that's true. I forgot.
Yeah. So I actually, but then again, too, like, this is where my optimism gets the best out. I actually don't think their defense is terrible.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. I don't like. I mean, great. If you look at Chelsea last season, like, defensively, we were not bad until when what's his name came in, Liam Rossini came.
Junior.
Yeah, there was a point in time where our defensive record was like number 2 or 3 in the league. Like, and then everything went to crap after the PSG game. So, like, even when we had like a thin defense last season, the defense wasn't that bad. And like, the only thing that gives me a bit of concern is Sanchez. But what's interesting with Sanchez is, like, every season we see the same cycle. Is like a new manager comes in, they'll praise Sanchez and we'll think they're kidding. And then next thing it stays. And then in the middle of the season, like, it's such a weird, like, history has a way of repeating itself. And I'm yet to find a pattern associated with Chelsea that has repeated itself more frequently than this with a player. Like, it happens every season. Sanchez comes in, the step is like boy meets girls. Manager meets Sanchez. Manager praises Sanchez. Manager backs Sanchez. Manager loves Sanchez. Manager leaves. It's kind of like the same cycle. And then, so I found out from an internal source that we were actually going for Diogo Costa. But the issue was there are a lot of people that really believes in Pendas. So the rationale is Sanchez is going to be a placeholder until Pendas matures, because we don't want to go spend money on a new goalie, and then we don't want to spend money on a new goalie just to sell Pendas in the future, because they see him as like the future goalie. So
how old is this Pendas kid? I've never heard of him.
21, yeah. So, but yeah,
is it that good? Is Pendas that good? I haven't watched it.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know.
Well,
because I keep hearing Pendas. I've never watched anything about.
It's the future. That's what they say. It was Strasbourg's goalie last season, no?
You on Strasbourg.
Strasbourg is tired of us.
You on Strasbourg.
Strasbourg is tired of us.
Strasbourg hate to see y'all coming.
That's our sister club now.
No, bro. Dada, you're being nice. You say sister club. I don't think that's how they feel. The sister club is like there's some respect. Right now, they just feel
this on a side chick club.
Yeah, they just feel like if we need anything.
It was at Strasbourg last season, and it was like I think it was like the best goalie in the league, which isn't saying much, but yeah, one of the best goalies in the league. So, but I think the defense. Well, and we also signed a Chevalier, the left back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that defense. I mean, Lacroix, Colwill, Fofana back three. Yeah.
And I heard you guys like Palestra too.
And we got Palestra, yeah. So I mean,
may I jump in? Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The Palestra kid is like a reincarnation of Alonso. I don't know what to make of it. He's very, very technically good, 2 feet. I feel he's a waste as a left back. Like he just seems like a waste.
So,
sorry, Benny. But that's his position now.
In a 3-4-3, he wouldn't be a left back. He'd be a left like a winger, pretty much.
Left wing back.
Okay.
So the 3-4-3 would be or right wing back. Palestri, was that Palestri, right?
Yeah, Palestra.
Yeah.
He's on the right though. No,
he's on the left.
I thought Palestra was the right back.
I thought it was on the right.
Palestra is a
Palestra on a right back now.
Or doesn't he play both?
Apparently, guys,
I'm sure he can play both. He can play both. My point is that,
he plays primarily as a right. Primarily plays as a right back or right wing back.
Yeah, as a right wing back, that should be a good role.
Then what do we do with Gusto?
I'm hearing some Chelsea fans talking about Gusto should hold bench because Palestra is the future.
Nah, man, Gusto is better. In my opinion, I think Gusto is better.
Why? Why do you think he's better?
You said Palestra is better than Gusto.
I think
that's what I've heard Chelsea fans say that they want to see Palestra ahead of Gusto next season.
I think it's going to be a back three. The more I think about it, so Reece with the back three. Yeah,
I don't think Reece. You think Reece is going to be playing in the back three?
Yeah.
I doubt Reece.
Wing back, make him play wing back.
Why would he?
He can't play wing back.
He cannot play wing back.
James does not have the legs. Honestly, that's honest. He does not have the legs.
James either plays in the back three or he plays in front of the back three.
That was what I was expecting.
Because honestly, actually, it makes more sense for him to play in the middle because if you have those 2 10s right there, it's imperative that you have 2 more disciplined.
Yeah, and he's just pinging in balls. He's gonna be pinging in balls all day long.
He was the one that pinged in.
The cross.
Yeah, the cross. Yeah, for
the second goal.
Second goal.
Yeah.
Like that quality of cross should not be at the defense, in my own opinion.
Yeah. So Palestra is going to be back up to Gusto, and then Chevalier and Hado on the left. That makes sense. And then you also have the flexibility of Ato to play a back three if needed.
Yeah.
And you can play on the right back in the back 4. So I think it's almost you've kind of created a flexible back 4 there, or a defense where you can have players sort of like interchange depending on rotation and what you need. Yeah. And then let's Achipong as well.
Achipong is there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what's interesting is I kind of like support that on this one. Again, we lost one very solid left back
in Cucurella.
Yeah, very.
Cucurella had to go though. Cucurella had to go. Not even outside of footballing reasons. So a couple things like when this all. I mean, Cucurella had to go. First of all, Alonso was not a big fan of his height. So that was one.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The whole Real Madrid thing, it did really rub a lot of people the wrong way. So I felt like, in a way, I mean, think about it now, it's a mafia. You have to make an example of someone. So there were many reasons why Cucurella had to go. And also think about how much money we got for him.
We got a lot of money for him, which is good deal. But to be honest with you, if I just looked at it from, say, football reason, aside the fact that you mentioned his height, I think, unlike before, when we lose, you notice my skepticism every time. I'm like, they're going to sign a 12-year-old for like 80 million. You know that I always say that, like, they're not going to replace at that level we need. And my fear was always like, we replace, then invest 2 years, and then the guy gets to a certain point, and we lose that guy. There's no continuity.
But
In this case,
with an experienced player.
exactly. In this case, we got Pep, and they're very similar with the way they play. Maybe Kuku is just more refined and has caught up with Premiership and all that kind of stuff. And then with Hato remaining, who is growing into the system, and he can play both left centre back and left back. And then they're adding who else did we say we added on that left side? Like the Pep guy is what I'm actually saying. Like it's kind of like unrefined when I just look at him at the Vallecano level.
Yeah.
But we didn't lose the only person, but he had to also go. They've always wanted to make the money on Chalobah, and I'm glad you're saying the only person I'm a bit sad about remaining is Tosin. I don't.
Oh, Tosin's gonna go. No, don't worry. Tosin is leaving.
He's leaving. Okay.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah. No. I like that. They give me joy because my fear with our ownership is trust. It's been trust. It's if you sell a big time player because you have the money, then buy solid replacements. I can understand we're not always going to spend 150 million for like a 27 Rodri, or I get it, or Fabian Ruiz if we could get the opportunity. But if you can get close to signing those kind of players to complement the likes of this useless shithead again, Enzo Fernandez, but also Caicedo, it changes a lot. It says a statement. Like I get the Rodgers signing as a statement too, and using Cucurella as an example, and also that ultimatum they gave Fernandez, like you want to get out, right? But also being able to retain quality players that grow together to form a crux of a team is very, very important. Our high turnover was crazy over the last 2 years, and we were not replacing with experienced players. We were replacing with projects. Hence why I didn't call Enzo a prospect. Claude AI called him a prospect. Like I'm
calling him a prospect
because I was just using. I was like, okay, analysis, stats, and all those stuff. And it's like, if you were to define them and rate them, how would you? And that's the enforcer, the goal scorer, and the guy's a prospect. So, but to be honest, the defense is only. I agree with that. The defense, the goalkeeping situation is one that's a bit. I don't know. Sanchez is good, but Sanchez is not Premier League winning.
Yeah. All right, let me take CE5757's comment. He said, Colwill so stupid, Palestra and Roger still safe, but Colwill will concede. Thank you for your comment.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree. Colwill is a solid defender.
I think Colwill is a solid defender.
No, I disagree.
I think Colwill is a solid defender.
I feel Colwill, but he kind of proved me wrong towards the tail end of last season. Even when he came back last season from his injury, he looked better than a lot of the defenders there.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to
and don't get me wrong, me just catching feelings over Chalobah. Obviously, he's been in the club since he was 8, and I'm a sucker for Cobham graduate. It was just Chalobah for me represented the benchmark of what we should not sign below.
And we did it.
Yeah.
No, Tosin.
No, you said we should not sign below going forward.
Going forward. Yeah.
This one was free.
Yeah.
But Tosin
no, even free, bro. There's some things we should just not bring.
I agree.
Mix. Because you get complaints.
Nice guy though.
Nice guy. Yeah.
He's our family friend. So.
Okay.
No, seriously.
When he said no, that really sounds like
no. Yeah. I knew there was something there. Okay.
Honestly, every time I see the guy, it just reminds me of a BCG consultant.
Ever since you mentioned that,
I can't unsee that.
The man is a finance. The guy is a finance bro.
He's a finance bro. If I was in there,
literally, yeah.
Go to KKR. They are calling. That's your calling.
Facts.
I'm telling you. Roll up middle market.
He even speaks like one. Listen
to his interview. When give this guy a thank you.
Yeah. Okay, last topic. Let's go to the last topic. This is about Maresca. I want us to cast our minds back to the first week of January 2026. I think Maresca got sacked he left on January 2nd. And that day I saw that news and I was in a hotel room in Dakar and I was like, God, when are you going to do Amorim for me? and play. Within 1 week, Amorim don't go. Now, Maresca, when he left, a lot of Chelsea fans were up in arms. Most of you guys were not happy. I also was confused as to why he left. And at that time, it felt as though that the Chelsea hierarchy they were the bad guys. At least that's what I gleaned from all that. 5-6 months later, Maresca ends up at Manchester City. The allegations were looking like, they're true. And now he's coming to, I heard he's snooping around Pedro Neto. He's snooping around, what other player of you guys? Oh, Enzo. So like I don't remember what each of you guys thought about Maresca back then, but what do you think about him now? Do you hate him? Can you forgive him? Benny, talk to me.
Honestly, at the time, I kind of faulted ownership for how they handled that, because it was not a secret that Maresca would have been touted as Pep's replacement for a long time. We've been hearing about this, like rumors here and there. So I would assume that they had more information there. And I would assume that they would be able to say, okay, hey, all right, we can't keep you because you want to go see Pep or you want to go replace Pep or whatever. We know Pep's leaving at the end of the season. Can you get us to the end of the season? And we shake hands and part ways. I don't know what all went down. That was my expectation, but I guess it didn't go down, and it brought us to the Rosinio era of much heartache and pain. But I don't know what went down, but I felt like whatever the case, they should have been able to manage that better. If there's something where he's going to leave and there's nothing you can do, negotiate something to where he stays till the end of the season. So you don't just go
tank
from
the season.
Yeah, don't just tank the season.
Yeah.
Because like Jada was saying, we were doing good up to that point. Like
That's true.
Decent.
That's
so
true, yeah.
Find a way to keep steady the ship. It's coming, but steady the ship until the end of the season and then figure it out. But I don't know what it was. Maybe they just wanted to he's leaving. How dare he try this? Go away, Joe. And then go away. Did this to our Champions League, our Europa League, our Conference League. Just everything went away. Now in hindsight, and first of all, I should say that the whole coming up with here's the story of what came out, like giving press releases. I thought that was super weak, in my opinion. I don't know why you're doing that. To, try to go track for track with a coach. He said something, now you have to respond. You have to respond to what he's saying. In my opinion, that was weak. Having said that, no hard feelings for Enzo, for Maresca. He's where he wants to be right now. We start again, we start afresh. I don't care. I really don't care. Let him come and take whoever wants to come with him, and whoever wants to go, let them go for a good price, obviously. But I don't really care. He didn't win enough for me to be like, oh my god, up in arms, like what do you Club World Cup? That's good. They're probably not going to play again. One more Club World Cup, one time, right? Okay, so it's not. Okay. In my opinion, he's not that good enough for me to be stressed about it. All right, he's gone, fine, whatever.
All right, so no hard feelings.
I know hard feelings.
I correct me if I'm wrong, Idris. Did he not pay? Didn't they order him to pay some compensation to Chelsea or something? Or what? Am I wrong?
Did City pay 20 million or something like that?
Yeah, City did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Dada. Do you want to take this one so I can take the last one?
No, sure.
Because I know you have the feeling about him.
Yeah. Dada, go ahead.
Yeah.
So here's my thing about Maresca, right? So as a Chelsea fan, beef him. I hope he doesn't succeed. I hope every time he flips his pillow at night is hot.
It's hot.
And I hope every time there are rocks in it. So you know what I'm saying? I wish him all the bad things in the world, and I hope his wife leaves him and he dates a youth.
Hey, yo,
wait, too much. Sorry.
He said,
He
did put context. He said, as a Chelsea fan. He didn't say as Dada.
But you know what? On a personal level, as someone who has built their career with zero loyalty to employers, always jumping ship, please edit that part out too. I'm not going to fault anyone for doing what's best for them, for themselves, right? Look, Chelsea fires coaches all the time through text without any heads up. So oftentimes, when people do it to clubs, they throw their arms up. Oh my God, I can't believe he did this. So from an unbiased perspective, I think everyone should do what's best for themselves. There's no honor amongst thieves. Like that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
But I think if you do read in between the line, part of the things that I heard internally, Maresca went about this in a very disingenuous way. There were certain conversations that were had that Maresca said something and it was doing other things in the background. So typically before you go engage a club, you need to get like permission from your current club, right? Because look, this is not like working at Walgreens and you're going to CVS, right? I mean, there are like trade secrets involved. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just like Chelsea's playing Man City on a Tuesday and you're texting Man City on Monday about you want to go work for them. Like there's a massive conflict of interest there. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that kind of took the Chelsea ownership aback. Like, okay, we were generally fine with you going to City, but everything you said up until that moment was totally different. And then you went behind our back to talk to City. So I think what Maresca did for himself is fine, but I think how he went about it was terrible. Yeah. But at the same time, too, I get it. Having said that, we better not lose to Maresca this season. That's all I'm doing. Like I'm just like, you don't understand. Like we better not lose to Man City this season. Like my hatred for Arsenal, which I don't hide, I would even like put the City rivalry just because of Maresca above that this season. Like I would rather, like, no, for real. Like I'm so dead on like not losing to Maresca this season. And also too, he's coming after Chelsea players. That's fine. If he wants to take Enzo for, and if you notice, the way we went about the Enzo negotiation was very, very different. Like never has Chelsea came up with a deadline. Signed by this. Yeah. So that's something they're introducing. They're calling it like the Maresca approach because of him. Like, we're fine with you wanting to take our players, but we're not going about it the traditional business-friendly way we've gone about our transaction. So it's more like take it or leave it. If you don't want it, go kick rocks. So
well, I think it's also because of the player in question too. Like
because of the player,
it's another Maresca kind of situation.
Yeah.
Okay, Idris.
For me, touching this one, right? I covered some of the part that I would, which was pretty much saying, see, the guy looked out for himself, especially in a club that is notoriously known for finding coaches by text. Like let's not act like our club is a toxic club, right? Start with it. But I don't know when you say the context of the way he went about it. They said something and they did say something. I genuinely think I find it very difficult, and maybe again because I am biased, to see it from the Chelsea ownership's perspective. I'm just struggling here. When the season was about to start, my understanding is the guy told them we needed this. Remember, his title is coach, right? Yeah. And that also stated we knew at some point this guy was going to go back to City because they're on the study, he knew the organization, they probably had the culture of the way they worked, which is a tad bit different from our technical director ways of doing things. I believe Maresca was a consequence signing, and also his leaving is consequential because it's changed the way we've been behaving after that significantly, right, guys? Like, let's not lie about it. When Poch said he left, we were adamant that he was fired. But Pep gave an interview that sometimes, even if he signed a contract with the club and then they reassess the season, him and his team will talk with the leadership and see if it's okay to continue. And Poch has usually been like, hey, it's not okay, even if I have a 4-year contract with you, they leave. But you know how we always be like, oh, you leave, you got fired, Joe, you're not, you understand? Maresca left. He looked at the situation and was like, maybe you guys caught me, or because my understanding is he came and told them that that he spoke to this guy. My understanding is
after the fact though
that he caught him.
So his initial approach to City was not through Chelsea. So he was talking to City behind Chelsea's back.
So okay, and I'm assuming using relationships he's had, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Fair enough, but. This is. I don't think he went to sort this. That's what's confusing to me. We always knew he was going to go back at some point. At least one of their faves to go back. And when he brought it up, I think I want to believe from a human way of doing things, they could have handled it better, as Benny said, but something erupted somewhere. But he was already frustrated about how we were going as a club. The whole argument.
Sorry, you know what I think? I think even when he took the Chelsea job, he always has it in mind. Because for some reason that I can't really pinpoint, and maybe because it has to do with his personality, he never connected with the fans.
You think?
No,
I was mad.
No, Enzo Maresca never connected with the Chelsea fans, and I'm not talking about like the foreign fans like us, like kind of like the fans, like often like it just there was never that like relationship with the fans.
You're right, but he was also very corporate.
Yes,
because they brought him as the company man. That was one of the things we had a problem with the guy. The guy never shit on what the club was doing. It was when I believe, and this is what you're saying, Dada, he finally saw the exit favored him. Then now he's now tweaking with them that like I said I wanted the left center back.
Yeah.
You guys are now bringing me all these 12-year-olds. So the things that people like me have always hung as a noose over the head of the neck of the owners are now like echoing in my own vibrate like. And then when it was time, as you said, they should have found a way to keep him. Chelsea's ego kicked in. At that moment he left, what did they do? Self-sabotage. Run, grab the guy from Strasbourg, brought him in, killed that guy's career, killed the club in Strasbourg, took us sideways on the spin. And then everything people like me have been complaining about is like, my guy, add experience to the thing. I know he's going to break the bank 500 million. Add experience, spend small money, get a manager. They are now finally doing it. So I felt if Maresca had worked and they had a gentleman's handshake and he went to City, he would have hired another stupid Maresca or another, what's the other guy's name? It could be whatever they wanted, but they wouldn't have taken this approach they're taking this season. I really believe so. It had to really hurt for them to have pivoted this way.
So it sounds to me like Dada is the only one who cannot forgive Maresca. Hey, listen, if it was me, there's no one forgiving him as well. Absolutely not. That's yeah. No.
I can't be, and that's the thing that you said he didn't really connect to the fans, and that's where he was never my guy. He was the company guy, and then the company guy screwed the company. Why are we mad about it? We're just bystanders watching from the comment section. Where I'm
from the beginning, I never liked Maresca. I'm not gonna lie. He did well. He did well. I never liked him, and I'm sure if you guys go look at that history of that forum, it talks about how boring his style of play was at Leicester when he was in the championship, and the fact that was it Parma that he got into relegation, one of the Italian clubs. Well, point is, I never really liked him, but he surprised me in his style of play. Quite pragmatic. In a way, he lulls you to sleep, and then somehow gets some results from that. So I don't know. Again, it's hard for me to feel very strongly about the state of affairs right now at Chelsea, about anything, because I know that a lot of things need to change, and for me to feel like, oh, this player is crucial and I'll get up in arms. No, they haven't done anything worthy of that goodwill, of like that kind of reaction from me, in my opinion. So I'm hoping this changes. That's what I'm hoping this season. I'm hoping Alonso brings something new, something magical, and maybe I'll actually go to a game. Like that's Chelsea, Man City is April 24th. That pencil that day in Stamford Bridge, possibly.
I'm down.
Let's see how the season goes, man.
I'm down.
The first 10 games, I'll know for sure.
All right then.
Sorry, I was gonna ask guys if they're optimistic about this season. I mean, different, which is sad because a lot of things I wanted is being done. But you know what I mean? Maybe it's just like I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, different. If they don't make top 4, will I be sad? Will I go on a rant?
Well, maybe you're.
One thing is for sure though, it can't be worse than last season.
Careful.
I said the same thing until I finished number 15. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I said the same thing until I finished 15th. But guys, that's the Chelsea season preview. Thank you Thank you, Dada, for always joining us. Appreciate you. Always a pleasure having you. Idris, of course, as always, thanks for joining. And Benny, always appreciate chatting with you, man. And thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, CE5757 for your comments. And guys, until next week, we are out. And good luck to everyone.
Good luck to everyone. Yep.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck,
Bye.
everyone.
You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Your football needs. Banter from rivalries.